What is going on, everybody, and welcome in to the KellyCast. I'm, of course, your host, Dan Kelly, joined as always by Mike, and today, our special guest, Mickey. Mick, I think all the times you've been here, we've won, so that's the only reason you're here today.
Only reason.
Only reason.
But you didn't wear Vaughn last time, so
no,
you've just jinxed us.
No.
What was the last game you were on for? Miami, right?
Maybe.
I think it was Miami, and I know we won that game because we obviously swept Miami during the regular season. How are you feeling ahead of this matchup today?
Listen, you guys know how I feel. The Bills are going to humiliate the Kansas City Chiefs. They learned...
You think they're going to humiliate them?
Yes. They learned the last 3-4 times they played them, especially in the playoffs, the last 2 times they played them in the playoffs, that you don't let the game come down to the wire. They're going to...
That's exactly what they did the last game they played them. They let it came down to the wire, and literally it came down to Kadarius Toney's foot.
Correct.
Who will not be playing, by the way, if you guys don't know, Kadarius Toney, inactive due to hip and ankle injuries. Mike, what about you? How are you feeling coming into this matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs today?
Like my former boss.
Oh, come on.
I just got the shakes, man. I mean, I don't know. I can't. We haven't been able to shake this team in the playoffs. That's the whole problem with everything. And but at the same time, you know, Deion Dawkins' comment made me at ease a little bit because he said, you know, Pat Mahomes has been in the building for, 8 years now, 7 years now. He's been here once, and it was basically during COVID where he didn't get the full effect of Bills Mafia.
Exactly. So. And I have not seen enough people say that. I was watching a lot of Chiefs Bills content this morning, and somebody said, oh, Mahomes has been there. It's fine. Yeah, he was here when there were no fans in the building, and he won. Congratulations, right? I want to shout out Kevin for his comment. It says, not related to Bills Chiefs, but how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? How about them Packers?
Ooh!
What happened to the Packers, buddy?
Right in the fields.
I mean, they kind of did the same thing, didn't they? They didn't get blown out, but they crapped out at the end there.
And one of our honorary Kellys, the addition to the KellyCast predictions this week, Nick is here. It's the first time Nick has been in the chat. Shout out to you, buddy. Appreciate you for coming out.
Hi, Nick.
So what do you think about the inactives coming in today, Mickey? Who do you think is the biggest loss on that list for the Buffalo Bills? If you don't know the names,
I don't.
Gabe Davis, obviously inactive today. Also, Christian Benford, Balin Spector, Taylor Rapp, and then Bernard, Douglas, and Johnson are said to all be game time decisions.
Okay, well, Bernard's a big one, and Bedford. Those two.
Okay.
Let's face it, Davis is a really good blocker, and he always seems to have a fantastic game against Kansas City.
Yep.
But, Shakir's shown up recently. And the thing about him is if you look at his stats, I think he's 100% catching the ball.
Okay, no drops. That'd be interesting.
I think.
I'd like to look into that, and I'll have an answer for you at a different time. I don't have that right now. Mike, we had an issue with our punter going on last week. Obviously, looks like he got hurt. Then they then signed former Bills punter Matt Hawk, and 3 days later they release him and say, okay.
Yeah, I keep calling him Hack because he wasn't that great for us, but he's something, and Sam Martin isn't exactly.
Are you concerned?
Punter. As far as the punting game, no, I mean either way they both are about even. I think if one can play with a bad hammy and the other one, I mean Hawk has been out of the league for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean I think he was on a team. I just don't know if he was the starting punter.
He was.
But let's get back into Bills Chiefs here. I asked you guys how you were feeling, and I'm leaning more towards Mike. I've been stressed all day long. My girl was texting me, oh, it's going to be okay.
X Factor.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
There's an X Factor, guys, that has not been a part of the Bills the last 2 times they played in the playoffs.
What's that?
It's the guy who has no sacks, no tackles, and nothing else. The man he's wearing on his jersey. Vonnie Beavishawn Miller, who he expects to show up. I hope so. I hope you're right, Unc, but based on what I've seen this year, I cannot side with you. Going back to him, like, my girl was texting me this morning. She's like, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I said, no, you don't understand. Everything will not be okay. Until the game is over and the Bills are announced the winners, nothing is okay.
I'm already sweating.
This is her first
even
playoff.
started. Yeah, she doesn't understand the magnitude of
It is
not
so
just
large.
not just the game itself, but who it's against. Like this win, lose, or draw, everyone's gonna say this is the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl, right? Because we haven't gotten past this has been our roadblock every single year.
Correct.
Whether it's there and maybe here
Yeah, we
today.
don't know that. But let's get into that, because I told you about that earlier. Adam Schefter went on either yesterday or today and was talking about the comparisons of Allen Mahomes to Brady Manning. And there are some crazy similarities. But before that,
Yes,
Mitch, with a really good comment, it's Mahomes. How are you not feeling nervous? We'll get into that in a second, Uncle Mickey. But back to the Schefter news. He said when Tom Brady and Peyton Manning met each other in the playoffs the first 2 times, the winner was Tom Brady. The third matchup, Peyton Manning was home with the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts ended up winning. In Brady's 7th year, it's Mahomes' 7th year. On top of this day, January 21st was the same day that Patriots-Colts game was played. So lots of similarities there. If you want to get into those kinds of things, that's up to you. I thought it was a very interesting point.
Conspiracy.
Uncle Mickey, why are you not nervous about Patrick Mahomes? He is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league right now.
I don't know. You know what? Everybody says how great of a player the guy is. And, I've seen him make some crazy plays. He ain't better than Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL. He is a physical unicorn. He's a freak. And ever since Joe Brady has let him off his chain, the Bills are undefeated. As far as Kansas City's concerned, if you want to be scared about the Kansas City Chiefs, then you need to be scared about their pass rush.
So
Nothing else.
I don't think scared is the word. He's asking about nervous. We're not going into like...
Well, I'm not nervous.
We know that. That's the point.
No.
We're confident in the Bills. Me and Mike are confident in the Bills.
we know they can win. We know they can beat this team.
We're still concerned. That is Patrick Mahomes. That is a man who is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a Super Bowl MVP, a regular season MVP. You can say, Josh, all these things, and we love Josh, but Josh hasn't done that.
He will.
And not only that, but you're also going against a great coach in Andy Reid as well. So
He's a good coach.
And Sean McDermott hasn't seemed to figure out Andy Reid for the most part during the playoffs.
Hey, we're 6-0 since McDermott came on as an kind of support.
Listen,
or
guys,
is it that we have to feed the pit? One of that.
we
That's going to be the nickname of the new stadium.
we talked. We kind of talked about this yesterday while we were watching some of the football games. All right, Von Miller is an older player, okay, with a lot of experience.
Wait, who?
Von Miller.
Does he play for us?
Yeah, he plays
Oh,
for
he
us.
does, okay.
Yeah, he's a future Hall of Famer. Okay, he's one of the he's only the 3rd defensive player in the history of the NFL to win a Super Bowl MVP. Only the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know who the 1st was?
Who?
Michael, you should know because he played for Dallas Cowboys.
First defensive end.
Defensive end, or defensive player?
Actually, 2 defensive players.
I don't remember
Won it.
Super Bowl
Deion
MVPs.
Sanders?
What's that?
Dion?
No.
No.
It was back in the 70s.
70s Cowboys.
It was back in the 70s.
Oh,
It was their
okay.
defensive line. It was their defensive
In
line.
case you weren't sure, I'm only going to be 40.
It doesn't matter. You're still a Cowboys fan. You know?
Who is it?
Yeah, I
What's the
didn't
name?
research that.
It's the defensive line.
Who is it? What's his name?
It's the defensive line.
They're-
More than
The
one.
entire line won the MVP?
It was 2 people on the defensive line.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So, but anyways, Von Miller is getting close to the quarterback. I watched him last week. He made that spin move, and he got right on top of him.
Yep.
The game before that, he got wide, and he caused Aaron throw.
Mm-hmm.
No, he hasn't made a tackle, and no, he hasn't made He hasn't had a sack yet.
Mhm.
Okay, but he is getting ready to break out. And the X factor, the reason we got him is to beat Mahomes.
Yeah, that is the exact reason.
So
that
guess
Buffalo
what?
signed him.
I'm wearing this jersey,
Mhm.
not only because of that, but I also want to thank all the service people that have given their lives and fought for this country to give us, the three of us, and all of you people, an opportunity to do what we're doing right now.
We appreciate that. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Getting back into this Bills-Chiefs game, though, it's just crazy that it's happening again, Mike, right? Like, it just feels like this is the most important game ever.
It feels like Groundhog's Day. Most of you people out there are too young for that movie, but it's just you wake up, it's the same thing day after day after day, right? Is basically the message from Groundhog's Day. And here we are again. Only this time, the only difference is again we're at home. So I'm excited. If we can't beat Mahomes today, I don't see it ever happening.
When will it happen?
I don't see it ever happening unless Mahomes' team misses the playoffs.
Which almost happened this year. Thanks, Broncos. Thanks, Broncos.
Thanks, Russ. We appreciate it.
And also the Raiders.
They were
they
a factor, but they weren't.
They beat them.
Okay. I don't care about
All right,
that.
they beat them.
But no, I was saying the Broncos had a chance to make the playoffs.
Yes, they did.
Started losing. The Raiders had a chance at the start of the season, but not late.
No.
What do you think a key to this game for the Buffalo Bills is going to be?
The same as I say every week, it's turnovers. You have to keep this turnover game sound, and also penalties. The ref, the conspiracy going around about the ref. I don't believe in that BS.
I don't believe in it either.
I don't believe in that BS. Yeah, it happened, incidental, whatever. But I believe they have to keep those penalties under wraps because this guy's going to call them. He's going to call them every time, and we know it. So
I will say the one thing that is on the Bills' side in that argument, usually when it comes down to refs, it's usually home field advantage that kind of gets the refs on their side.
Typically.
So I would hope at least, and remember the other thing I told you, this crew with Sean Hockley is not the same crew that Sean Hockley's had all year.
No, it's just Sean Hockley's.
For the playoffs, they put in different officials along with him, so that could be a factor. People in the comments, Mitch, Nick, Kevin, whoever's there, give me a score update of the Lions-Buccaneers, please, because we can't see it, so I'd love to see what the score is in that game. But, Uncle Mickey, a key to the game for the Buffalo Bills. Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to say Josh Allen, number one. Last week, I watched this game last night preparing for today, okay? And last week, Josh Allen was in the pocket. You guys might not remember this play, but Josh Allen was in the pocket, and he had 3 or 4 players around him. Instead of him, he had the ball in his hand like this. Instead of him tossing the ball like he normally would have done, he wrapped it up and he took the sack. Okay? That is what has to happen. Okay? Take the sack, throw the ball away. Don't throw the ball into triple coverage, double coverage over the middle, that kind of thing. And like Michael said, it's all about the turnovers. And number 2, pressure.
I was actually just gonna say I wanted to mention before as well. Defense pressuring Mahomes. He doesn't play well under pressure, and he's not running. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this year, but he's not running as much as he used to.
Okay, and we can get into that in 1 second. We have another Kelly in the building, none other than Tracy.
Say hello.
Hello.
Say go Bills.
Go Bills.
Let's go. She's also a Vikings fan, but it's only because of Stephon Diggs. Uncle Mickey, let's talk about Mahomes for a second. And what Mike just brought up, the fact that, maybe he's not a scrambler, and he's not. We know these quarterbacks are very different. Mahomes is still very mobile. And I think the Buffalo Bills have trouble with mobile quarterbacks getting outside the pocket on third downs because Allen and Mahomes are buddies. They're friends, right?
Yes.
So when it comes down to this matchup, You want that. You want those bragging rights. What does Allen need to do to finally get past him here in the postseason?
In my opinion, Allen is not a pocket passer. And I think that they have to get him outside the pocket. If you can get Allen outside the pocket and get him throwing the ball on the run, he can't be stopped.
They say it every week almost.
Once
he starts rolling out right, you're in trouble. I've
Yeah.
player after player after
But
player.
my question is, why does the coaching staff not realize that and keep him in the pocket? Because you know what? He is a much better thrower on his back foot than he is on his front. He's the best.
Interesting.
You know, I think Diggs also has to get his rear end in gear, too.
No, Diggs needs to get going. He's had trouble against the Chiefs in the past. We have a score update here, 17-10 in favor of the Lions over the Bucs right now.
Oh,
We'll
boo.
get into that in a second. Rasul Douglas is active
Good.
for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
And Kyle asked where Sam is. Sam needs to learn more about football before she can join the channel, but she's not here anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
We allow the 6-year-olds to not know anything about football and come on. So
She's a Kelly. It's a whole different scenario. But thanks, Kyle, for coming in. I appreciate you. I see you learned how the comment button works. I know you were born in the 1400s, but we're getting there, sir. Let's get on to this defense, Mike. What needs to happen for you to... Well, first of all, we think this is going to be close, right? Everybody besides this one thinks it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, well, he thinks the Bills are going to blow everybody out, right? It's like that meme that goes around weekly. It says that, what's the one this week is a Swifty, something, the Bills by a Billy or something, whatever.
I've been predicting that ever since I was 9 years old.
Yeah, Bills by a billion, right? We're all Bills fans, so we want that to happen, but
And the camera still.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Terrell Bernard is inactive.
That hurts a lot.
That is
Big time.
ouch, man, because
Travis Kelce.
it opens up Travis Kelce. It opens up Rashee Rice over the middle.
Kelce.
The Buffalo Bills are going to need to really step up on defense. Please, A.J. Klein, I know you were supposed to go on vacation last week, but we need as good of a game from you today as you had last week.
We need Poyer. Poyer's got to be the guy to take.
What about Micah?
Micah is going to be, he's out there. He's going to be out there also, but Poyer's going to be the guy that's going to have to be defending Kelce.
Okay.
Terrell Bernard is a big loss.
I remember how mad you were at him after week 1, but it changed really quick. The
Yes,
rest
it
of the
did.
Bills inactives, Alec Anderson,
Don't
Pooner
care.
Ford,
Okay.
and then Spector, Benford, Bernard, Rapp, and Davis. Let's see if the Chiefs put them out just so we can compare if there's anybody on their side. They do have them ready. Obviously, we know Kadarius Toney, inactive.
Sky Moore.
Echo Boyedo, who I don't know who that is.
He's a defensive lineman.
B.J. Thompson. No, he's a defensive back. Wanya Morris, Derek Nottie, Neil Farrell, and Felix Andike Uzoma. The only one on that list who really means anything other than Kadarius Toney is Derek Nottie, and he's not even a starter. He's a rotational defensive tackle. The Chiefs are coming into this a lot more healthy than the Buffalo Bills, right? And they've done this before. The pressure is not on the Kansas City Chiefs. The pressure is on Josh Allen. The pressure is on the Buffalo Bills. Because if not now, when?
And that pressure has been on the Buffalo Bills the whole time, regardless of injury. Now it's just magnified, right? Just because man, we're back at the beginning of the year when we had half the guys out that we needed in here to play.
But what does this go to prove? I mean, seriously, what does it go to prove when the defense is playing
what's
like
going to be this is going to speak to how good McDermott is as a defensive coach today.
100%.
With all of these guys out and the biggest game of his life that's not the Super Bowl. And next week's going to be the biggest game again for him if he gets that far.
Yep.
Next week's gonna be tough. I mean, I'm not looking forward to having to travel to Baltimore for either of these teams. I already saw some analysts saying the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. It's already over. It doesn't matter if it's the Bills or if it's the Chiefs who come out. Discussion going on in the comments here between Kyle and Kevin. Nice to meet you. You know, you guys haven't met yet, so. But I see you guys talking about Poyer and Hyde and their age, and I agree with both of you in a way. Kyle says they're old. Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Correct.
Kevin says they may be old, but they still got another year or two at most in the tank.
No.
Maybe, Kev, but I honestly think they're both not going to be with the Bills next year. I'm hoping that, you know, their IQ and their football knowledge gets them through this game, because if Rashee Rice is over where Hyde or Poyer is, I am not confident that he's going to get stopped, right? Like, he is way too fast. Poyer and Hyde, they have a problem with speed.
Yes.
And you know what, Dad?
They lost speed, guys.
I was just going to say, you've been saying it all year.
They lost speed.
Lost a step.
They lost a step, both of them. It's obvious.
Kyle here seems to agree with you. He said it's been evident all year that
It's
they've
been
lost
evident.
a step.
Kyle's 100% right.
Yeah, me and Kyle were talking about this around Thanksgiving. Remember, when the Bills were sucking, we were still talking about that. But before we go today, guys, we want to thank you all for coming out. I love seeing you all in the chat. It really means a lot. I know you guys all know that, because everybody in the chat I know by first name. So thank you for coming out for our pregame show today. Before we sign off, let's get our predictions, starting off with the Young.
41-10 Buffalo.
Why did I let him talk?
Yeah, you let him do it first. We're not the ESPN analysts. We're not doing scores, so I'm not going to. But you're welcome to. But I don't think that the Bills have a shot in hell to stop them to only 10 points. I mean, what the hell is even the over/under on this?
I mean, the
46, I think.
The Chiefs have been averaging around 21 points a game this year.
20.
And if that's why it's around. Thanks.
Yeah.
But
18.
Getting back into the Buffalo Bills here, you need to put up points. And without Gabe Davis, it might be a little difficult. You got to get James Cook going. 21, Buffalo can do that. They can put up more than 21. But
easily.
It's going to come down to defensive football. Where are you looking here, Mike?
I'm looking Bills by the skin of their teeth. It's going to be another game like last game. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be tougher because their defense is dilapidated. It's
Excuse me? Wait, have you been studying the dictionary when we've not been streaming? That was a word. Holy shit.
So supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's a foul.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is also a word.
If you guys want to hear the longest word in the dictionary, I already know it. Pneumano ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
Okay, how about spelling it?
Mistakes. I can do that too. I'll do that off camera though. I'm going to select the Buffalo Bills this week as well. You know, home field advantage. I can't get past it. It's going to be a raucous crowd. You have to take the momentum early. And I have a question for you here. The Bills are known for my entire life, maybe your entire life. I don't know about that though. They defer all the time. I want the ball in this matchup. I want the offense on the field. I want to get the crowd in this early.
I don't think you can. I think you got to give it to them. I mean, it's a risk either way because you risk letting them get hot, but I think you have to trust
the defense.
You have to trust the guys that you've employed to do the job and do the job right. And the next man, you know, McDermott's mantra has always been next man up. Mm-hmm. So
double dip.
Find a way.
You have the confidence. You show the confidence in your defense. You see what they can do because Mahomes can tear you apart, and they are absolutely a second half team.
Okay. Mitch seems to agree with you guys. Says give it to Mahomes first. Let's go over the rest of the KellyCast crew's predictions here while we're on the air. We have our undefeated champion from last week, Mr. Mitch, selecting the Buffalo Bills. We have Kevin selecting the Buffalo Bills. Nick and Zach, Buffalo Bills. Sam, Buffalo Bills. And our only person to go against us
Melissa,
selecting the Kansas City Chiefs.
I want a divorce.
You heard it here. Oh, man. This was fun. We want to thank you guys once again. Please leave a like on the video, share, subscribe, share with all your friends. we're figuring this thing out, guys. We're getting there. Obviously, we finally figured out how to have a third person on the show. I think claps all around for that. It's been a wonderful season. If this is the end, I hope it's not. I really do. You'll still be seeing us. Keep us on your pages on all social media at the KellyCast.
Who's the MVP today? Prediction, real quick. We only have a second. MVP of the game.
Josh Allen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Offense. How about defense? Real quick.
Diggs has a standout game.
Okay.
Oliver.
Allen. What about you?
Ed Oliver. Yeah, I'll go with Ed Oliver or Greg Rousseau. Maybe he.
Rousseau really does well against Kansas City. He had his rookie year. He had his
back.
interception.
He gets a lot of pressures.
I'm gonna go with Allen and Floyd.
Nice one here from Kyle. Calls out Kincaid for
Okay.
the offensive MVP. I like that, Kyle.
That's a good pick.
Look for him to have a big game today. We're going to sign off, though, guys. Hopefully we catch the end of that Buccaneers-Lions. Let's see what happens, Bills-Chiefs. And before we sign off, leave them with a go.
Go Bills!
Go Bills!